welcome to Between the Lines. It is, where are we up to? January 27, 89, 21st? January 21st. And we got a show tonight for you. We're going to talk a little bit more local. And we're going to look at Clinton. We're going to look at Clinton. We're going to look at some things that are going on down. We got the elite person of Clinton who's coming here today to talk to us a little bit. I'm going to try the right last name. Birkbeck. Birkbeck. I got to get rid of the R. Birkbeck. I'm sorry, Katherine. So Katherine is very involved in Clinton, very involved. Even I'm on the shadows. My wife's a county commissioner, but I'm on the shadows and don't hear much. But I know downtown and everything that's going on down there. We're going to talk about that too. They tore that place up. So we're going to look at it all. But she's been a big influence in developing downtown Clinton and doing it in a, we'll call it a nonpartisan, productive way. So that's what we're going to work at. And welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. I want to talk a little bit about that. And full disclaimer, she is running for school board on the Anderson County School Board, right? Not Clinton, Anderson County School Board. And she's in the Republican primary in May, I believe. Mm-hmm. Okay. So always good to see people step forward and volunteer their time. I just think that's good. And really, trust me, being on local election boards and stuff, that's volunteering your time. Yeah. Not enough money in there to save you. I mean, that's just the way it is, all meetings and everything. So tell me, you were born in Connecticut.
I was born in Clinton, Connecticut.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Clinton, Connecticut.
Weird.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was born in Clinton, Connecticut. My grandparents retired to Tellico Village, and essentially my parents followed them. I think everybody was looking for warmer weather, so I moved here when I was in first grade.
Okay. So let's think of that for a second. That's a long time ago.
It's a long time
90s,
ago.
They moved here in the early 90s?
Yeah, 87,
Okay.
86,
All right,
87.
all right.
Yeah. So, and I have spent most of my life here. I went to South Clinton Elementary.
Okay.
Loved it there.
They do have a camaraderie there. I know my good friend Daniel Forster's daughter Chloe and others that went there, and they just really enjoyed South Clinton, you know, and I can remember 20, 25 years ago, people were talking about closing it and consolidating. It was a big debate in the Clinton schools. Of course, it survived. People spoke up. But I can remember that being an issue at one time, maybe 25 years ago. I don't know.
Well,
I doubt you were there.
I was not there, but I'm glad that they decided not to do that, because what a gem that school is
well,
now.
In North Clinton and South Clinton both have personalities that reflect our neighborhoods and different issues. Whereas, you know, Clinton Elementary School is just the bigger, broader, I don't know how I would say it. It's the establishment. I'm saying these things in a good way. It's just a bigger, different way. They have to have special crafted missions to South Clinton and North Clinton, especially North Clinton, to take care of those communities.
Yeah, and Clinton City Schools has done just an amazing
Kelly
job.
does a good job, doesn't she? Yeah,
she does a great job.
And everybody over the years has done well with that. I can even remember when Dr. Scarborough had to strap in from Oak Ridge. He ran it for a year or two in between people. So there's differences. So you now are working with historic downtown Clinton, which is not 4 shops and a gas station. It's a little bit more than that,
It's
right?
a little bit more than that.
And we're going to talk about it. So tell the people, I think Clinton knows, but tell the people around Anderson County, what does that comprise? I mean, for us, you go down Main Street, you turn right, you get the Chinese restaurant, which is no longer there on the tracks, the Cleaners, which is no longer there. It's now, what's the name of the restaurant?
Hammocks.
Hammocks. So, and then you leave, and then you head on down Eagle Bend. But now it's grown up a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're going to continue to grow. So Historic Downtown Clinton, we are a nonprofit organization working to revitalize the downtown area and preserve its history. Our foundation name is the Pearl Foundation, which is an acronym that stands for Preservation, Education, Arts, Revitalization, and Leadership. Which is a whole mouthful, of course, too. But
tell me about the pearl trade. What's the story behind that?
So the name is a throwback to the pearling industry that Clinton was a big part of before Norris Dam.
Where'd the pearls come from?
They came from the Clinch before the dam was built. It was the freshwater pearls, and they were extremely rare. I mean, people came from Paris and all over the world just for these beautiful freshwater pearls. So,
Okay. Were they white or are they gray or what?
you know,
Pink?
I think they're white,
Okay.
but they're not what you think of as a normal, perfectly round pearl. They were very unique, different shapes, as I understand it.
So it was a pretty big industry around the 1910, 1920, something like that.
Yep,
100
yep.
years ago, over 100 years ago. I've seen the sign down there, historic sign, which y'all have. But
Yes.
I never realized there was much trading there, and I didn't realize. So people would actually go out and take the pearls from the river, come back there. The dam was built in 33, so they came back there, and they would just lay them out, and people would come in and buy them.
Yeah.
What do they buy pearls for? Jewelry?
Yes.
Okay. Helps me understand a little bit better.
Yes. So back in 2021, the chamber, the Anderson County Chamber, said, hey, I think Clinton should be a designated Tennessee Main Street program. And so I worked with the chamber to apply to the state to become a designated Main Street program. There are about 45 in the state of Tennessee. That year we were designated. And so with that designation, you set up a nonprofit, you have a full-time employee that is advocating for your downtown, working to improve it, revitalize it, all the things. So
let's visualize this. Now, where does your funding come from?
So we get some funding from the city for operational costs, and then we also get some funding from the city for promotion of the downtown area. The rest, so they probably do about a third of our operational costs, and the rest we have to raise ourselves. So sponsors,
so you do
donors,
fundraisers.
yes,
Good,
events,
good for
all
you.
of those things.
Good for you.
So we started with a very, very small, tiny little budget. I'm proud to say that we've grown it, which just allows us to have a bigger impact on our downtown. Some of the
So we're
projects.
talking about an annual budget to help do all this stuff for the community. We're talking about annual budget of what, 150,000?
Yeah,
Yeah, somewhere
around
in there.
that. That's what
Okay.
we've kind of grown it to. We started with about $25,000. And that included, full-time salary as well. So, if I want to eat and I want to get paid.
Hopefully a little better now. Hopefully you get a
Yes,
little more
we're
money.
a little
Okay.
better now.
All right.
But it just, the more we can do, the more projects. We've gotten actually about $800,000 in grant funding. So we were able to do a downtown improvement grant to.
And you got the admin money out of that, but but you had designated things that you applied to do.
Yes,
What
so
were those things?
all of our grants that we've gotten are for specific projects. So the downtown improvement grant, we got for $70,000, and we were able to give funding to property owners to fix up their buildings. And that is historical in nature, so some of those buildings are 100+ years old, and they've made it that far. You don't want to lose them at that point. So it's really more built in restoration.
So is it just Market Street or is Main Street count too?
Main Street counts too.
Where does it start? Hoskins?
So anything past the railroad tracks is not considered historical, because then you get into.
You're over on the Eagle Bend side.
Yes.
I got
So
that.
that
we
is-
start from the tracks and we come back up.
Yep.
We turn
And
left on Main Street.
You turn left on Main Street. We also include
right.
some of right on Main Street.
Down by
And
Samuel
then we
Franklin
also
somewhere.
included a little bit of Hicks Street. So the
I know what Hicks
library,
is, yeah.
community center.
But how far do you come back towards Oak Ridge or back towards Main Street? Would Hoskins be in?
Hoskins, yep,
Okay.
right at Hoskins.
And so you got Hoskins, and then you would have where the Darty building is, and all of that stuff on both sides of the
Yep.
road. A lot of
Yep.
antique stores right there on the corner.
Yeah,
A lot of-
yeah.
Is antique still the big? Is there
Yeah.
any other businesses besides antiques?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Here we
I'm
go.
glad you asked.
I don't know.
So one of the other grants that we got was for food and beverage recruitment. So we now have 5 restaurants in
What?
downtown.
Really?
I know. Who would have thought?
We used to have some.
Yes.
In the old days, it was Elma and Elma. But I mean, it came back, but we've had a few get in there. They don't last. A Mexican restaurant went in there one time, and some others, but.
Yeah.
So what kind of restaurants do you have?
So I'll say that when we first became an organization, one of the first things you do is ask questions like, what do people in Clinton want to see in the
Sure,
downtown
survey it,
area?
sure.
Food and beverage was hands down
The biggest, yeah.
the biggest thing. So now we have hammocks,
Okay.
which is
I hear
something
good
they're-
things. My wife eats
Oh.
there, and all the courthouse crew people go there.
Yes, it's great. They've got a great atmosphere. Happy Hostess is a cafe and bakery. They do lunch.
And where is that
and
located? We still on Market Street?
So right where Twins Cafe used to be, it's kind of in the middle of Market Street. So Joy and the Dawn owns the building, and they're an adorable boutique clothing, home goods business. And then right beside them is Happy Hostess. And it's a woman-owned cafe, and she is a
Low
trained...
star, aren't they?
I mean,
Hard to
I
get a guy
guess
to work
so.
that much. I mean, you know what I mean?
But she's a trained culinary chef.
Right.
But you wouldn't know it because she's so humble and she doesn't tell people that. But her food is simple but extremely delicious.
So if I'm coming down from
So,
Hoskins and I get to the light, I turn right, which side is she on?
she's on the right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then we have, well, they haven't opened yet, but we have a brewery coming. So,
That's interesting. They make beer?
yeah. So Orange Hat Brewery is opening a location in downtown Clinton.
Okay,
they
I'm
are-
turning at the light again. Where am I going? To the brewery?
So you're going right beside Hoskins in the flat. So on Market Street,
Okay, right there
they
on the
have the
right. I got it.
Hoskins
Yeah,
marquee right there.
Pearl Industries right there, yeah.
Yes,
The store.
yes. So right there, so they're not going to call it Orange Hat. Brian Hatmaker, he is on city council. He is a Clinton boy through and through, and he is one of the owners of Orange Hat Brewery out in Knoxville. And he said that he thinks that Clinton deserves its own name. So it's going to be Winding Waters Brewery. They're going to make it a restaurant as well, so it'll be called Gather as the restaurant.
That's ambitious. In
yeah.
that location, that's ambitious.
Yeah, but we're so excited.
When does it open? A
Spring,
year from now?
March or April.
That's not
They've been working on it for a while.
Okay.
We saw all of the brewery.
So they're gonna make the beer there, they're gonna brew
Yeah.
the beer, but they're gonna keep it simple, not too much, right?
Yeah, they brought in all the brewing equipment last
So
week.
they've already got one, they know how to do it.
Yes.
And that's in where?
They have 2 locations in Knoxville, one in Hardin Valley and then one out west.
Have to go to Hardin Valley. What kind of food will they serve?
I don't know yet. I think it'll probably be burgers and American food that goes
It may
with
be
it,
April before I can
guess.
get them
don't know.
on, or May, but tell them I need to, when they get ready to open, we need to get them on here. and
Yes,
promote
you
that a little bit,
should.
just
Yeah,
'cause
that
it's
you
a worthwhile
should.
project, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and then we still have Hoskins, we still have Apple Blossom Cafe, and then we also
You
have.
would call Apple Blossom in the historic district? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. And then
it goes up over
Little
there.
Bird Macaroons has opened as well. And they do some sandwiches, but their specialty is the little macaroons that are so good. So we're growing and we have some options.
Yeah, that's good.
And I hope that continues.
Was there any incentives for the brewery to move here? By the council or you?
No.
Okay, they paid for the move? Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's good.
Yep.
And Hatmaker, I believe he's a Lake City guy originally, isn't he?
Is he?
I can't remember. Could be a different Hatmaker.
Yeah. So he and I also went to high school together. He was a little bit older than me, but
Right,
yeah.
A little bit older, Mr. Hatmaker. That's what she said, not me. All right, okay. All right, so I got it. So it's developing, it's getting bigger, everything's going good.
Yeah.
You have one employee with you?
It's just me.
Okay.
I have a board of 15.
Keep them confused easy.
So,
It's like a commission of 16. It don't work real well. but,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Okay.
But I rely heavily on them. We have a great mix of community leaders and residents, old, young, been around a long.
Monthly meetings?
Yep, monthly meetings. And then so Main Street divides you up into 4 sections. These are the 4 areas that you need to concentrate on. So economic development.
Are there membership fees paid by anybody?
Nope.
Is anybody helping? It's
Nope.
all free, huh?
It's
City
all
general.
free, and
Okay.
it's all, we do a lot to promote our businesses in the downtown area. We have a website that features all of them, and they don't pay a dime for it. We spend money in magazines and advertising events and all the things just to let people know about downtown.
Okay, let's talk about the Darty building. You catch me up. It's in the middle of your district.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people in there.
Yeah,
I had the developer on 2 years ago or whenever, and I always thought it was a good idea. I mean, what are you gonna do with a building that's been sitting there for 10 years? And when people learned about who could get in there, I think it kind of eased it up a little bit. They spread rumors that it was bad, and it was this, and it was that, and it's none of that.
Yeah, so there's about 35 lofts,
Yeah.
I think, that you can rent there, and they're all rented, as far as I know.
Sure.
I think at capacity, waiting list, all those things, which tells me that more people want to live in the downtown area. And
A lot of people from different areas that move here, I'm sure, like a lot of my friends in different areas of East Tennessee, they like the city. They're city people.
Yeah.
If they can get, and even though Quentin is not San Francisco, you could still get a little bit more of that kind of life in a loft and everything else. So that's not a bad idea.
yeah,
That's not a bad idea. And I think the average age is younger. It's like 50,
yeah,
45.
and I hope that continues, because I think downtown is a great place to be, to live, to shop, obviously.
Here comes the question, though, where do you live?
Well, that's the question, right?
You're not supposed to live there. I mean, just where do you live?
Yeah, there are a lot, I say a lot, probably is me, but there are a lot of upstairs opportunities in some of the buildings that I don't think are being used right now. So I actually own one of the buildings on Market Street. That was kind of how my path to becoming involved with this downtown initiative. And we have an apartment upstairs that we
You do?
rent.
On the left going down?
So
Going down Market Street, there was apartments that were available up there on the second, third floor. They were big, too.
yeah, it's a huge apartment.
Yeah.
So it's one
good for you.
bedroom, but it's really neat when you go up there and
Not
look
far
out
to
the
work, is
window. No, yeah, I don't live there, but one that we forgot to mention. So Chunky Monkey moved from Norris to downtown Clinton last year. They're actually in our building. They're our tenant, so we have an ice cream option on Market Street now as well.
Okay.
So
We're gonna go to break, but you live in Quentin?
I do.
Somewhere? Okay,
Yeah.
that's all that matters. We won't say where.
Yeah.
But you're, that's it. Okay, Chandler, let's go to break, and we'll be back to talk about education.
At ORNL, national security is a mission powered by science. We safeguard critical infrastructure, develop isotopes for health and defense, and protect the digital frontiers of tomorrow. In a world of emerging threats, we deliver breakthroughs for America that protect lives, systems, and the future.
America runs on power, and for nuclear power, we need enriched uranium, but almost all of it comes from overseas. In 2019, the Trump administration took action, working with Centrus to build the first new American-owned uranium enrichment plant in 70 years. And now, Centrus is ready to expand to meet our nuclear power and military needs, free from dependence on foreign suppliers. Centrus, American technology built by American workers.
This is Joe Heckman, President of Waste Management at Energy Solutions. Nuclear power is on the rise. Energy Solutions is part of this transition and part of the solution, delivering comprehensive services and assets that support the entire nuclear life cycle. Energy Solutions is protecting and preserving the environment for generations to come.
From Oak Ridge, Tennessee, IB3 Global Solutions conducts operations around the world to enhance the U.S. national security posture and minimize radiological and nuclear threats. IB3 Global Solutions. Mission first.
At Navarro, we partner with our clients to advance technologies and deliver effective solutions for complex challenges in the nuclear, environmental, and clean energy fields.
Josh Anderson is a Republican who has fought for families across Anderson County throughout his adult life. Josh is a farmer, a husband, and a father. For 4 generations, his family has lived in Anderson County. A graduate of the University of Tennessee, Josh has served on the Anderson County Commission for 7 years and served as chairman for 3 years. Josh is a businessman who will put his experience to work for all of us. A supporter of term limits, Josh believes 2 terms as mayor is enough. Josh Anderson believes leadership starts with listening.
Feeling overwhelmed with your business finances? At P&L Business Services, we handle all your bookkeeping, payroll, and tax needs. From federal tax returns to QuickBooks training, we've got you covered. With over 25 years of experience, we provide customized packages to fit your business. Focus on what you love most, building your business. Let us take care of the rest. Call 865-294-4792. P&L Business Services, empowering you to grow your business.
At ORNL, innovation starts with discovery. From the smallest particles to the most powerful computers, we explore the unknown to unlock what's possible. We lead in quantum science, artificial intelligence, and fusion energy, turning bold ideas into emerging technologies that meet American priorities. Because when discovery drives innovation, the future takes shape at ORNL.
Welcome back. We're talking about Clinton. We're talking about historic Clinton. We're talking about Main Street. We're talking about Market Street and all the good things that are going on there. But we've got to move to education a little bit because our guest, full disclaimer, is running for Anderson County School Board in the Clinton District, District 2. And she's worked a lot. She's done a lot. She's been around the schools for 20 years, and she thinks she has something to offer. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Okay, Katherine, why run? Why run now?
Well, I would say my two biggest reasons that I'm running are the two children.
Twins,
yeah. The two children that
Katherine
I have.
has twins, that's right.
Yes, they are currently in Anderson County Schools at Clinton Middle School. I have twins that are 13 years old and in 7th grade and thriving and doing well.
Okay.
You know, I'm proud that they're at my alma mater. You know, I went to Clinton Middle School. Clinton
I'll
High
leave
School.
that alone, folks. Go ahead. I'm just joking.
But, you know, growing up in Clinton, I am running because I have seen Anderson County Schools in various different lights. I am a daughter of a public educator.
Yeah, your father taught in Clinton, that's right.
Yes, he was a teacher at Clinton High School for almost 24 years.
Does he support this effort?
He does.
Okay,
yes.
that's important. Most dads will say, don't do it. It ain't worth
Don't
it.
do it. Yeah. So, you know, and I grew up across the street living next to Matt and Michael Foster and Larry Foster. So learning about education and public education from a young age. You know, those are people, my dad, probably at the forefront, he is passionate teacher. He loved students and he was a hard teacher. I think most of the students that really loved him because he brought out the best in you as a student. Now he could also hold you.
What's the lady's name that taught there forever, had the same reputation? Short black hair. I'll figure it out before we go. But anyway, there were some tough people there.
And he, you know, I don't want to speak for him, but I think would say that he worked every single day to make students in that school better. And I got to watch that growing up.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You know, I also went through the school. I'm a product of that school. I have, you know, for better or for worse, I have the dragon pride and the history of the school. But now I'm a parent too. And so seeing it from all of those sides, and being an advocate for the schools, you know, downtown, we partner with Anderson County Schools and Clinton City Schools a lot. And we want our students and our community involved in our initiatives in downtown. I believe that we are working to make our community exceptional in the downtown area, and I want our schools to be exceptional too. And I think that's what I can offer.
And I think we need more young people, and we need people that are invested. I agree with that. So many questions I can come at Clinton. Tell me, I asked this question, and I like Parrott a lot, superintendent. I like him a lot. Tim's a great guy. Had a lot of challenges this year.
Yeah.
Et cetera, but a good guy. And always been forthright, comes on, you saw him on the show, transparent. He's a good guy, and I think they've made progress. Now, it's a pretty conformed board. I mean, everybody kind of gets along. Everybody agrees on everything. You got Don Bell in Oak Ridge. You got who's a friend of mine, and you got Dale, and you got other people. And I don't know who's going off and going on, but I know Don's going back on. He signed his petition on it. I guess my question is, it doesn't seem like a very hard. I don't think that there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of rallying to support of the school, which is good and bad. But I think people like you can make a difference in being a little bit different, and not in a bad way, just in a neutral way, that you could get out and say, well, we need to ask more questions about this, and just saying, oh, I'm sure old Bobby meant the right way, or Bob Billy.
Right,
So I look for that. That's me looking from the outside in, I mean, I don't know the answer. I talked to Don the other day and some others, but I'm lucky to even get home at night from all these other things I'm doing. I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but I think that Jim's heart's in the right place. He's been conservative with his fiscal stuff. I don't see that as a challenge as much as I do shaping the future. We need to know where we're going. I made the comment earlier. I know this won't make a lot of people happy, but you got to look at schools. You got to look at Dutch Valley. Is it feasible to go on in Dutch Valley, or is the population too small to support an extra school? Merge them in with Lake City or North. I don't know. I've always liked Dutch Valley, and a great little school out there. But I mean, these are questions for the future.
Yeah.
And you've got to look at them, and you got to investigate them. Funding, pretty conservative commission. We've got to figure out where it's going. Of course, schools run their own show. All commission can do is say, we're giving you this much money.
Yeah.
And that's it. But they can say, we're not giving you this much money. So it's a lot. And you've got a little bit of it's changed a little bit with the legislature being super majority Republican in the last 8 to 10 years. But one thing we did, you might remember because you just reviewed it, but Tim, I can't remember how many students, they were impacted by vouchers.
Yeah.
I want to say the whole county was only 277. So I got the list of every county and how many people got voucher money. But even if it's 150 or 100, that takes your money down from the state.
It does.
So that's an issue you're going to have to face, and other things. So I think Kelly's got it buttoned down in the city. I don't think she has any issues whatsoever. I think the county's got a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
And you can't. I think we got to have people that'll not be backslappers and blah. But we got to have people that walk in and say, "What about this? What about that? What about this?"
Yeah. One thing from that I've noticed from my job and what I do, we formed a Clinton High School youth board.
Okay.
And this was actually Inslee our historic downtown.
Okay, good.
So this was actually Inslee Barker's idea. She came to me
kid's
and
everywhere.
said, "I know she
She's
has so many
everywhere.
ideas. She's a
That's
force to
great
be
kid.
reckoned."
She's a oh, no question about that.
But she came to me and said, "Hey, I'm going to be your intern, and we're going to start this youth board." And I said, "Okay, yes, ma'am," as you do, even though she's a high schooler. But we found that offering the opportunity to high school kids to be involved in shaping their downtown. We had 18 kids come to our first meeting and say, we think our town is special, and we want to be a part of this revitalization effort. And I think giving kids more opportunities like that, our youth board entered a contest to raise $5,000 for a small city park that's right by the library, and that snowballed into another grant and more funding, so much so that these 15 kids on our youth board raised about $20,000 for the city of Clinton, and their names are on that forever.
Yep.
And that is special. That is something that will make...
What is this park?
So it's called Terrapin Hill.
Okay.
It's right by the library.
Okay.
And it's another story about the dam that could not be cuter and that you could not write if you tried. But before the dam was built, the water would rise, and when it would recede, it would leave turtles stranded on this hill. So we did an art installation of a turtle, and we planted trees, and we built a brick wall that's a safety barrier to the road, and so more things like that, right? Like more involvement, having exceptional schools, and then allowing the kids to be invested in their community even before they graduate. So then maybe they want to continue to invest in their community as they get older and with their jobs or wanting to stay around and help us grow. And maybe start a business. Those are the things that really motivate me every day.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna take another break, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about a couple of what I feel are failures on the city of Clinton's part, but not the school department, but the fail overall. But we'll talk a little bit about it. Chandler, give us a break.
At ORNL, national security is a mission powered by science. We safeguard critical infrastructure, develop isotopes for health and defense, and protect the digital frontiers of tomorrow. In a world of emerging threats, we deliver breakthroughs for America that protect lives, systems, and the future.
America runs on power, and for nuclear power, we need enriched uranium, but almost all of it comes from overseas. In 2019, the Trump administration took action, working with Centrus to build the first new American-owned uranium enrichment plant in 70 years. And now, Centrus is ready to expand to meet our nuclear power and military needs, free from dependence on foreign suppliers. Centrus, American technology built by American workers.
This is Joe Heckman, President of Waste Management at Energy Solutions. Nuclear power is on the rise. Energy Solutions is part of this transition and part of the solution, delivering comprehensive services and assets that support the entire nuclear life cycle. Energy Solutions is protecting and preserving the environment for generations to come.
From Oak Ridge, Tennessee, IB3 Global Solutions conducts operations around the world to enhance the U.S. national security posture and minimize radiological and nuclear threats. IB3 Global Solutions. Mission first.
At Navarro, we partner with our clients to advance technologies and deliver effective solutions for complex challenges in the nuclear, environmental, and clean energy fields.
Josh Anderson is a Republican who has fought for families across Anderson County throughout his adult life. Josh is a farmer, a husband, and a father. For 4 generations, his family has lived in Anderson County. A graduate of the University of Tennessee, Josh has served on the Anderson County Commission for 7 years and served as chairman for 3 years. Josh is a businessman who will put his experience to work for all of us. A supporter of term limits, Josh believes 2 terms as mayor is enough. Josh Anderson believes leadership starts with listening.
Feeling overwhelmed with your business finances? At P&L Business Services, we handle all your bookkeeping, payroll, and tax needs. From federal tax returns to QuickBooks training, we've got you covered. With over 25 years of experience, we provide customized packages to fit your business. Focus on what you love most, building your business. Let us take care of the rest. Call 865-294-4792. P&L Business Services, empowering you to grow your business.
At ORNL, innovation starts with discovery. From the smallest particles to the most powerful computers, we explore the unknown to unlock what's possible. We lead in quantum science, artificial intelligence, and fusion energy, turning bold ideas into emerging technologies that meet American priorities. Because when discovery drives innovation, the future takes shape at ORNL.
Got to get aggressive on some of that. Okay, we're back. We're talking about things in Clinton that some we agree on, some we don't. But everybody agrees that we need to build Clinton for the future, and we need new minds and new energy. That's for sure. Education, everything. Okay, so let's talk about downtown Clinton, where you all are at, where they just took a jackhammer to it. And I'm not sure. And they put these little concrete bears with flowers in there. That's cute. So we got all that going. Is it going to be better?
I think it's going to be incredible. Yeah.
In what sense?
So a lot of the work is hard to see results immediately.
Okay.
So infrastructure was 100 years old, so they're essentially replacing all the sewer, all the storm drains.
Yeah, let's get a list.
all
They
of
put
that.
new water, new sewer.
Yep. So now that that's done, and I got a update yesterday that we're 67% done with the project right now. So the sidewalks are going to be much wider, which is in a sense a traffic calming initiative to make people drive slower through there. So that's one of the things that I think.
So you narrowed the roads.
So the road's a little narrow, but there will still be traffic coming through Market Street. That was one thing that kind of went back and forth.
I'm more worried about Main Street than Market Street.
Are you?
Yeah, I mean, people go to the interstate, people
Yeah.
go to Wake City, people go to Market Street has traveled a lot less than Main Street.
Yes, and I think you've seen most of the work that's going to happen on Main Street. They've already put a lot
Those
of
roads are narrow?
They're a little more narrow, and there's a median now that people like to talk about. It's in the middle of the road right now.
Catherine Birkbeck's median. We'll be
No,
looking forward to
not Catherine's Birkbeck's
I
median.
got it. I'm sorry. I'm just joking around.
But I think
What's going to be in the median, anything?
I think that's to be determined. You know, I'm not in charge of construction. This was a city
I wish you had been.
application. It was, and you know, and it is a $10 million project, and it's doing a lot of things. So we'll have wall seats. There's actually about 200 trees and plants that will be planted just on Market Street alone in the next few
I
months,
get the
which
investment.
will make it more pedestrian friendly. You know, shaded, you know, all the plants, just make it feel a little homier and a little downtown. So we actually, our group received a grant to do speakers on all the lampposts, so we'll be able to play music and do emergency alert systems and
Not
that
all
kind
the
of
time, but when you want to
yeah,
play.
anytime we want, yeah.
No, but you're not going to play music all day long.
Maybe, we'll see.
I would like to get some input into what you play.
Yes,
We
well,
need
yes, that's,
70s, a little bit more mellow kind of
yes.
stuff.
You
You ever
know,
go to Dean's?
I do,
That's
yes.
the restaurant. That music's what we need right there.
Yes.
Because we got the older people got the money.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, really just anything that makes somebody want to come spend more time
I
in our
agree.
downtown
I do
and
agree.
stay longer and be with their family and slow down in their life and be in a safe space. So that's really what we're hoping happens with this construction. Lord knows we all are ready for it to be done, but I think it will definitely be worth it once we're through it. So I did some research and spoke to other Main Street programs in the state of Tennessee that have gone through this kind of project.
Which towns?
Knew you were going to ask me that. Winchester, I believe, is
I know
one of
Winchester,
them. Lawrenceville, Lawrenceburg, one of those. Talking to them as Main Street directors, they saw a huge economic impact for their businesses once it was completed. Sales went up about 60% for all businesses in the downtown area on the weekday, over 100% on weekends once they were completely finished with the project.
Well, your challenge is you got to have something to buy.
Yes. So I will say we have not lost any businesses in downtown due to construction.
Right.
So we're hanging on. You know, we really need people to continue to support.
Is anybody shopping down there? Anybody going?
Yeah,
down there?
yeah. I mean, a lot of our businesses have done a really good job of creating other entrances and ways to get into their building. And a lot of them have done other online options, curbside delivery, those kind of things.
Well, you can come up on the bridge and go down and park right there and just walk up that way.
Yeah, and really, I mean, the big Commerce Street parking lot area, it's not a huge walk. You know, if you have trouble walking through the gravel and all of those things, that's certainly understandable that you would stay away from downtown during this time. But
That's interesting. Well, you had to do it sometime.
yeah, right.
You got-
And there was
winter
no.
seems probably a little more logical. than
Yes,
other times.
so I'm really hoping that over the next few months, we can get back to
Normal.
firm ground to
With a
stand
chance
on.
for growth, yeah. And
Yeah.
you think it'll be done by April or May? Mm-hmm. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm pushing for that. I'm hoping for that.
Your antique festivals are twice a year, right?
Yes.
What months are those?
So May 1st and 2nd is the Spring
then
Antique
October,
Festival.
okay.
Yeah, and so this year for the Spring Antique Festival, we are also turning that into a 250th celebration of America.
Sure.
I think that goes along with antiques in the history. So antiques are anything that's over 100 years. But what an honor it is to celebrate 250 years
Yeah,
of
we've done good.
America. When I think about that, I think that is a way for us to honor not just the land we stand on, but the people who fought for it.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
250 years ago,
Well put.
people thought with their entire being that it was worth sacrificing and worth fighting for. And
It was really about freedom, not money. Most people didn't have much.
yeah,
They were just
and
country.
we have to honor that. I mean, so we're gonna spend the better part of this year celebrating the
250.
250th.
What else is on the sheet?
Let's see. Well, I can talk to you about Clinton High School Alumni Association.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Tell me about it.
So
How many members how many active participants?
Robbie Harrell, who's the
I know Robbie. Great guy.
principal of Clinton High School, he this was really his idea and his initiative. He sees that there are just holes in ways to support kids and teachers at Clinton High School.
Okay.
So, we had a meeting this morning, and there are about 30 kids who can't afford their cap and gown for graduation.
There you go.
You know, so can we, as an alumni association, find the funding to fill in that hole? I mean, that's about $1,800.
Sure.
You know, when you think about community and your initiative, like,
That shouldn't be hard.
that shouldn't be hard to find for those kids. So allowing kids at Clinton High School, no matter what their economic background is, allowing them to all have the same opportunity. That's really kind of the basis of that one. So
And have we ever really turned kids away for that?
for cap and gown, I think somehow the school probably tries to
Gold
help
star.
them and find the money. So
Yeah.
if the alumni association can take that off the plates of the school, then we'll be better for it. So.
Yeah, and alumni, that's a good thing for them. It speaks to what they're about and where they're at. That's a good idea. Okay.
So, what else do we want to talk about?
We're getting ready to talk about what you want to do in the next 4 years.
Okay,
You ready?
I'm ready.
You got ideas?
I do have ideas.
Okay, so Katherine is going to be elected or not elected in August, but May will probably determine it because not many Democrats. Is there any Democrats running
Not that I know of.
so far? Okay, we got another month. But so basically in May you pretty much decide who's going to serve. So you've got 4 years on this to decide what you want to do differently and what ideas do you have. Not making any commitments, finance or anything else. Just tell us a little conceptually what you would like to do.
I think some of that will be determined when you get in there and you can look at a budget. I think
I can pull the budget up.
pull the budget up.
The question is,
I know it's a big budget.
It is a big budget.
So looking at all the schools, Anderson County Schools is every student every day.
Okay.
And I really, really want to be a part of making sure that is true for my district.
Your
in
district
Clinton.
is North Clinton, South Clinton, and CCC. Clinton County, just like the city elections. You have exactly that area. District 2 is that area.
Yeah.
I talked to Denise about it and Michael, but I can't remember. So those 3 districts are what you've got to run in.
Yeah.
All right.
I told you that I watched your interview with Dr. Parrott.
Yes.
You and Dr. Parrott spent a lot of time talking about how kids in our community are not getting fed and how that impacts grades, testing,
WIC
all
was the
of
most, WIC, I was lobbying for WIC in 1983. I lived in Nashville, but I was traveling with food advocacies to people in Washington trying to get funding for a WIC program because we needed, not only do we need food, but we needed to get them fed at school before their day started if they didn't have it at home, because how are you going to study if you're hungry?
Absolutely.
So we did a lot of work on that 40 years ago, and even my Republican friends have sustained support for that. And
well, it's a whole different ballgame when you're talking about kids, I think.
that's right.
But And I told you that I wanted the question that you asked Dr. Parrott, which is,
What would you do with $50 million? If I just wrote you a check for $50 million, you know, what would you do in the Anderson County systems, knowing that you had the cash and didn't have to ask for it or whatever? What would you do? What would you change?
So
I'll price it as you go. Go
Okay, go ahead. So I'm a dreamer at heart,
Nothing wrong
and
with that.
after listening to your conversation with Dr. Pear about food, I would love to hire a chef, 2 chefs, 4 chefs, whatever it is, for every single school.
You know, they do that in some districts.
And every meal is farm to table with the healthiest of ingredients that you could get. And you spread that apart, and you know that in Anderson County schools, 6,000 kids in our community are getting fed with the most nutritious ingredients that money can buy, and every single kid is on the same playing field, and they're all given the best opportunity to succeed.
Yeah, and it gets down to fresh fruits and vegetables and things they probably don't want to eat, but things
And
that
then,
they need.
and taking away the stigma of only certain kids eat at school. That all the kids want to eat there because it's delicious and it's healthy and it's feeding their bodies in the way food is meant to be feeding your body. So that's my dream. That's my hope. We can't do that because we don't have $50 million.
No,
But
you don't need $50 million for that. That would, you know, that's 6,000. You add up the numbers. I mean, that's probably a couple of $1 million a year to do that, et cetera, et cetera. But that's good.
Okay.
So food's your focus. I got that. Okay,
well,
food's your focus.
you know, we'll see.
Healthy nutrition.
Yeah. Well, just giving kids the opportunity to excel in the best
How many
way they
kids
can.
going through the schools actually come to school hungry? Or how many? Is there any? Is it 10%, 5%, or
Yeah.
30%?
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see a lot of dysfunctional families.
Yeah, that weighs on my heart.
It's bigger
You
than
know,
you
when,
probably know, but it is out there.
yeah, and when you talk about kids in our own community experiencing that, I mean, my kids came home yesterday and said, you know, they go to Clinton Middle School, and they said that teachers were saying in the classroom, hey, if you're worried about this snow system that we're about to get, let me know.
The snow system?
Yeah, you know, if you need blankets or if you're going to need food because we're going to be out of school for,
Luckily, the snow's gone away.
yeah, well.
But the ice had.
The ice is still there, so we may be seeing that, but, you know.
Well, they were saying 15 inches 5 days ago. Now they're saying less than 1.5.
I know,
I don't know.
yeah, my kids are still hoping for the 15 inches.
I bet they are.
But, you know, that is a real fear that some kids have when we talk about these snow days that are coming or the ice days that are coming. And
You think so?
I
really
do,
think? Okay.
yeah, I do.
I don't think I've ever heard that. That they're
so-
worried about eating or being cold.
Yeah, well, when you know, if school is going to be shut down for the next week and they eat at school,
They're not getting proper food wherever they go. So interesting.
so.
What areas of the city, I mean, what areas of the county do you think have the, I mean, obviously the Clinton Elementary School's probably not got a lot of that. And I'm not sure, but I know that Briceville might, Lake City, you know, some areas in the rural areas. I'd say there's some, you know, you get a single parent who's stressed and can't get everything done, and she rolls off to work at 6:30, fix yourself something, but there's really not anything in there. So you come to school on a half a Pop-Tart or whatever. It's got to be rough. It's gotta
Yeah,
be rough.
it's gotta be
I
rough.
donate food every week to the St. Mary's Food Pantry, which is the biggest one in Oak Ridge, and I can tell you that line in 25-degree weather is 90 people, old people, young mothers. I mean, it's just amazing how many people have started to really
Yeah,
have problems.
yeah.
And when they pulled the SNAP program for a couple of weeks, we
Yeah.
were really down there giving food.
Yeah.
And go get more, you know, it was different.
Yeah.
So you know, there's a big debate, there was last year. A bill was proposed to feed every kid breakfast and lunch, and truthfully, most of my people lobbied against it because they had issues with qualifications, everything else, and that kind of stuff. So here's the big one for us, vouchers.
Vouchers.
Got to talk
Okay,
about vouchers.
Let's talk about
Okay,
vouchers.
so I do a lot with that because I have to frame campaigns and stuff. And I think that 2 years ago, vouchers were probably 50-50 in the state, right? I would say right now, vouchers have declined. People are not happy with it for a number of different reasons. My wife is a Republican, strong, but she stood up, okay, and said, I'm not, I sent my kid to St. Mary's for 10 years, but we didn't make that much money. And the bottom line is, we paid the bill somehow. And we shouldn't be paying for other people's education, private education, you know, that kind of thing. So I think I agree with her on that. But I don't think it's going away. I think they're going to leverage everything up. Do you have any idea or have any conception? I know you're probably for public school education and not for vouchers. You know, my attitude is I have no problem with the problem with the voucher program, and I've studied it a lot, is that it's a dang tax rebate. If it helped those kids that couldn't eat get something, I'd be all right with it. The problem for me is that most of those vouchers go to people that make 170, 180, 190,000 a family income, which is not bad. And they're getting those vouchers and they're going. And certain areas are getting more than others. So I'm not sure. Tim thinks it's impacted the schools in Anderson County. I haven't seen the numbers, but
Yeah.
you know.
I don't see how it could not at some point. I think it's probably too early to see what the long-term impact is going to be on that. I did see that the comptroller released some information on how we've done thus far.
What is that?
The students are still not performing up to the level of our public school kids with those vouchers, when they've received those vouchers. So for me, as someone who is fiscally conservative, it seems to me like we're putting a lot of money into a voucher program. That's
Well, they had to trim it.
maybe-
They had to shape it. They changed this.
Yeah.
They gave this much money. They bought off these people. They did this. So in the end, we have a voucher program that really isn't functional. Costs too much. Even our most conservative, Monty Fritz, 3 or 4 of the most conservative legislators in the state are against it.
Yeah.
So it's not
You
right.
could make an argument to me that it is needed in some places. That
Sure.
But, you know, Rick Scarborough, he was not for the vouchers for our community, because I think what he sees is we already have something really great and that we don't want to mess with, because the last thing I want to do is lose funding for our public schools.
Well, and I understand 2 years ago, or a year, how people were trying to get the vouchers through and see if they'd work or not. My problem is, I thought it was for people around the poverty level or a little bit more, but it's not. It's for people 400% of poverty. And now wide open. You don't have to have any limitations on that. And that's crazy. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. What's the purpose? Freedom and choice? You know, if you're making $300,000 a year, you can make your choice.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger and go. I mean, you know, so I don't know. I send my kids to private school, but
Yeah.
my son's to private school, but I don't see it. I don't see it being
Yeah.
I understand that poor people need it, but, you know, if you're a Christian Baptist or you're a Catholic in Oak Ridge and you want to go to St. Mary's or community church or community high school, community whatever, I think if you can't afford it, I think I'm okay with you having the right to choose that. I don't think that's what the program does.
Right.
And they wouldn't put in there how many people that bought into the program paid for private schools the year before. How many are actually new voucher students? And the answer is less than a third.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not. So I guess my point is, and your point is, and I know your opponent's probably pro-voucher, but I think the issue is that you think that we need to focus on public schools.
Absolutely.
education.
And, you know, listen, at the end of the day, that's for the legislators to decide.
That's correct.
And I, as a school board member, I just have to deal with what I'm given with.
That is correct.
And so,
That is correct.
so,
But you see an impact. I mean, we still have to
Yes.
pass resolutions and do stuff with resolutions.
Yes.
I just, I think you have to. People understand the history of education is this. Most schools in this country were private until the mid to late 1800s, and we started educating children because we felt the need to have an educated society, and we started more public schools, expanding and breaking it, and I just think that we need to continue to invest in it. Now, all that said, you need to get 16 credits, whatever the number is. I mean, with all that said, you got to have some accountability. I got no issues with that.
Yes.
But I think at the same time, I think we need to continue to fund our public schools and to use vouchers in restricted ways. I think maybe for those students who are poor and want to go to a different school and they have issues like you said, there are some school systems in the state, in the cities and other places that could use some vouchers to get their kids out of terrible areas and get them into private schools. I got that. Oak Ridge and Clinton, I don't see it.
I don't see it. Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't think it needs to do any of that kind of stuff. All right. So you get up to the microphone, you go on school board. What's the first 3 things you're going to propose?
Oh gosh, I
Come
don't
on,
know.
you pick something.
I don't know. I think I'd need some more information before
That's
I
a good
can
answer. That's a good answer.
truly commit to that. But I will say this. I've lived here long enough as a student and now as an adult to say that I want us to be fair to our kids in both Anderson County High School and in Clinton High School. And that maybe we've gone a little too far with the competitiveness, because some of these kids, Anderson County Schools has open enrollment. So there are people living in Clinton sending their kids to Anderson County High School and vice versa, because we're all doing the best we can by our kids.
Sure.
And then when you have that, a lot of kids are sitting in a church pew together. You go into Clinton, I go to AC, So I think by example, we need to show love, Christian love, community love to one another, and maybe take back a little. I understand a good rivalry, and I love a good football and basketball game. But some of the things I think that are happening in our community when we're pitting kids against each other like that are only hurting the kids. And I don't know what the answer is to stop that, but
Well, I think that's leadership too. I don't mind the competition. I just don't think it always has to be football. I mean, I think it can
100%.
be different areas of
Yeah.
fundraising for hunger, all kind of.
Yeah.
I think pitting people is okay. That's who we are. We're Americans, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's okay. But when you're rating people's kids to bring them to another school because they got a better football team, for years, Anderson County was able to pull kids away from Clinton, and Clinton
Yeah.
wasn't able to stop it very much. And now it's a little better. With all the problems of the football program, they did do a good job of keeping people pride and moving kids and people
Yeah.
getting involved. I get that. I get that.
Because at the end of the day, again, my work, what I do in my job every day is I want kids involved in our community, loving their downtown, having pride of their downtown, and wanting to come back and be a part of the community to build it up. So
Look at your list. What have we not talked about?
I think we've talked about everything.
Well, you know more than I know, and I can't see Tyler's stuff. So
Yes.
Or any other friends who sent me notes. Ask her this, ask her that.
Yes.
But you've done everything pretty well. And I like the fact that you're not going in with an agenda. You're going in to try to help, and that's all. People say, I know what needs to be done. Please. I've been around a long time.
Yeah.
You got to listen.
Well, one of the questions that Tyler sent you was being an advocate for public schools versus promoting private or homeschooling.
Homeschooling is a little different for me. I don't have a problem with homeschooling if they do it, if it's done with accountability, and those kids do pretty well. I don't have a problem with that. And a lot of times, it goes back to 100 years ago when they had to farm. I mean, you took your book home, you did what you could. So
I think parents always are trying to do their best. I'm a parent. Trying to make the best decisions for my kids is hard. But
my problem is they don't get socially adjusted.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
And that's the state mandates that counties have a public school. So if you want to be on the school board, being an advocate for public schools, I think is one of the most important.
It doesn't make any sense to me why you would want to be on a school board and advocate for anything else.
Correct.
I mean, you can be critical. We need to improve this. We need to improve that. But there's no reason to advocate for something that's competitive, which you're trying to represent.
Yes. Again, make that decision for your kid all day long. But at the end of the day, to have the best public schools that we can have in our community, you need an advocate for public schools. And
really, outside of St. Mary's, which has 220, there really is no private schools in Anderson County.
No.
And it's an excellent school.
And so then you're talking
I went
about
there 60 years ago. It's an excellent school.
Yeah. And then you're talking about money leaving our county.
Yeah. But, I mean, and as the mayor says, well, most of the money that goes into St. Mary's is positive money for the community. But people that come in here and do different things, and we have kids at St. Mary's that are 20 are from Knoxville, 10 are from Campbell County, some are from Rome County. It's not all Anderson County. But I want to know Who's getting vouchers that was paying the bill 2 years ago? They don't need vouchers. They're already paying the bill.
Yeah.
Give me a single mother with 3 kids who cares about Christian education or whatever, then they can go to a Bible school or a St. Mary's, wherever they want to go to.
Yep.
So I guess, 30 cents. Hey, you're doing incredible. You got the right attitude. You're helping the community already. I'm excited.
Well, thank you.
We need more people. We need some good, young, strong parents. It's good to call young like that, don't you?
Yeah, no, I'll take young.
Well, when they get to 40s, they start looking over their shoulder. We appreciate everybody watching.
Thank you.
We've got 5 seconds.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. I enjoyed it. I really did. You're going to do great. You're going to do great.